Assalamu alaikum. This is Ghulam Abbas from M.H.Language Solutions. True, false and not given question is a very crucial and very hot question in IELTS academic reading paper. Usually this question is given once only in the paper, but sometimes you may find it more than once. In this question type, you need to find certain parts of the text which contain the information. Then you need to read those parts very carefully to find your answer. There is another question that is quite similar to this kind of question, which is known as yes, no and not given question. But today, in this video, we'll only be discussing true, false and not given question. Yes, no and not given question will be discussed in another video. So let's begin. First of all, we will try to understand how the question actually looks. In the given slide, you can see that there are 7 different questions. For each question, you need to find either the answer is true or false or not given. Once you find out the answer, you need to write the answer in front of the statement. The text says, chilies originate in South America and have been eaten for at least 9500 years. The first question says, chilies come from South America. We know that comes from and originate both are same, so that is why answer is true. Second question says, people began eating chilies in the last few centuries. Here the most important part is last few centuries. Few is the controlling word here. What are the controlling words? We'll be talking about them in the next slide. So this word few is very important. Few centuries, and in the question it says 9500 years, which means 95 centuries. So few centuries and 95 centuries, both these digits are totally contrary to each other. That is why answer is false. The last question says, South Americans were the first people to start eating chilies. In the text, it doesn't say that they were the first people. It only talks about that chilies were originated in South America. It doesn't talk about South American people. That is why answer is not given. Now we are going to talk about controlling words. In the previous question, the false question, you saw that there was a controlling word few. Similarly, controlling words are the kind of words which are very small in the size, but they have a significant impact on the meaning of the statement. They may change the meaning of the whole statement easily. Therefore, in this type of question, you need to be very careful about these words, because they may let you think that the answer means totally different than what it actually means. Therefore, be careful. Whenever you find a controlling word, just underline it so that you are careful about it and you are careful about the changes that it is making in the meaning. We have some controlling words here in this slide. Have a look at these controlling words. Then how to answer the questions. There are certain steps that you need to follow if you want to get your answers right in this type of question. The first thing you need to know is that these questions, they follow an order, which means the first question comes first, then second, then third, and then so on. So if you have completed question number 1, you don't need to go back again. Rather, you need to move on, and you need to move on towards next part of the text where you will be finding the second question. Similarly, you need to move on towards the next part of the text where you will find the third answer, and so on. Then you need to first of all read the questions carefully. After reading the question carefully, try to locate any controlling words, underline them. After that, try to locate the keywords from the question. Keywords are actually important words in the question. They can be names of different people, they can be name of a place, or sometimes they are different figures which are given in the question. So try to find out any keywords, and then you need to scan the text. Scan the text means you need to just go through the text. Instead of reading the text, just go through it and try to find out the word that you are looking for. Once you are at the place where you think your word is located, or where you feel that answer is located, then stop scanning and start reading closely. In that part, you need to read each and every word very carefully. You need to be careful about the controlling words, because they are going to change the meaning of the whole thing. After that, try to make your choice. Either you want to write true, false, or not given, and you are done with. Last thing that you need to be careful about, don't write yes, no, not given in true, false question. And same is the case with yes, no, not given question. In yes, no, not given, you should not write true, false in your answer, otherwise your answer will be incorrect. So dear students, so far we have had a look at the question, how does it look. We have also talked about the meaning of true, false, and not given, and we have also talked about controlling words. We have also had an example. Now it's time to do some practice so that you get the concept of this question more clearly. So let's begin. So we have practice 1. The question in this practice says, the stool maker needed to sell stools to support the children. Try to find out the answer. When you read the text, there is no discussion about the children of the stool maker. So that is why the first answer is not given. Now read practice 2. The question says, Yunus Grameen worked with official banks to provide loans. Find out the answer, please. Okay. The passage says the official banks did not want to get involved in what he was doing. And the question says that Grameen worked with official banks. The passage says the official banks did not want to involve. So both the statements are contradictory. Answer is false. Moving on to practice 3. The question says people who fail to repay their loan are prosecuted. Read the passage, please. So the passage says there is no legal contract between the bank and the borrower, and no danger of legal action. So there is no danger of legal action. In the question it says their loans are, those who don't pay the loans are prosecuted. So again, both the statements, they are contradictory. They are opposite to each other. The answer is false. Moving on to practice 4. The question says most borrowers pay back the money they borrow. Now read the passage, please. Find out the answer. The passage says payment rates are extremely high, and in the last part it says to encourage them to pay it all back, which means that our answer is true, because most of the people, they were paying the money back. Practice 5. The question says other banks do not ask borrowers to perform community tasks. Try to find out the answer. Okay, so in the text we read, conventional banks would not consider this to be any of their business. So conventional banks, they do not take part in it. It means that the banks do not borrow. The banks do not ask borrower to perform community tasks. So it means the statement is true, because the meaning of both the statement is same. Now the last practice, practice 6. The question says the Grameen model has been a success in the USA and Britain. Try to find out the answer, please. Okay, the text says both countries have begun to encourage microcredit scheme based on the Grameen model. The text says they have encouraged it, but the text doesn't say that this model was successful there, or even that the model was actually implemented there. Therefore, the answer is actually not given. Dear students, we have had a detailed discussion on true, false and not given question, and I hope it was a help. That is all for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next exciting video. Allah Hafiz.